Show.
On policy, this bill is terrible. It is an absolute, it is a bill that Chuck Schumer wanted that is designed not to secure the border, just not to secure the border. It's designed to make it worse. So this bill, as you noted, it codifies Joe Biden's open borders. Catch and release, the cause of this crisis, it codifies catch and release.
Okay, I'm going to pause this, and we'll go through his, little checklist here to show. It doesn't, it actually stops catch and release. Catch and release is when people come to the border, surrender themselves to Border Patrol, and claim asylum. Okay? And the Border Patrol takes them in, arrests them, puts them in detention. And then they are released, because we can't hold them. They are released into the interior of the country pending adjudication by a judge regarding their claim of asylum. Is it valid? Is it not valid? This particular piece of legislation, which is a straight border security bill, no amnesty, no path to citizenship, no green card. It does have visas at the end of a very long process for those who pass through 2 levels of determining whether or not they have met the standard, the new standard, to claim asylum, which is that if you have a reasonable possibility, this is the new standard, a reasonable possibility of being harmed if you are sent back. And you, under this bill, would be heard almost immediately while you were in detention by a preliminary, let's say, judge, okay? Somebody who hears your claim and decides whether or not it meets the criteria to go to the next step. Now, the whole time you're waiting to go to the next step in this bill, you are not released into the interior the way you are now, which is why the whole thing has to be re-legislated. It has to be made legal to do this. So now you are released into the interior pending some sort of an appearance before a judge who will hear your entire claim, which now could take anywhere from 1 to 6 years. This bill makes that happen within minutes of your arrival at a preliminary level. And then if you survive that, then into the next level you go, but you're still in detention. Okay, which is why this bill requires an additional 50,000 detention beds and $20 billion for personnel, okay? You are now going to the second level. In the second level, you will be heard by an actual judge who will hear your asylum claim. 90% of people whose asylum claims are heard now fail to meet the standard. Well, can you imagine if you raised the standard? Right. Less people than 90% would fail. I mean, more people than 90% currently would fail. So it would be almost 99% of people would not be able to meet the test. And the whole time that they were waiting to talk to a judge could only be 6 months maximum, and they would be in detention the entire time. So he's lying. He's lying about this codifies catch and release. This literally almost eviscerates the possibility for 99% of asylum seekers to be released into the interior. Okay, point 1.
Puts it into the law. Not only that, it normalizes 5,000 illegal immigrants a day. That works out to 1.8 million a year. That works out to about 6 million illegal immigrants over the 3 years of Biden.
Okay. Now he's doing math, which is a garbage in, garbage out prime example of what I mean when I say that. If you are doing, any sort of a problem, any sort of math at all, and you start with, getting the number wrong, right? Let's say they want you to divide 14 by 2, but you write down 15 by 2. You're going to get the wrong answer every single time. Garbage in, garbage out. Useless number in, useless number out. Nobody asked you about 15, and you're looking for the solution to 15, then whatever you come up with about 15 is going to be the wrong answer because it was about 14. See what I mean? Okay, so first he's lying about 5,000 a day being allowed into the country. We all know now that encounters are what would trigger a border closure. not crossings. So not only does he lie about the number that would trigger the ability to close the border, saying 5,000 a day, truly, if he read it, which I'm sure he did, he knows it's 4,000 average over a 7-day period. And so whatever math he's doing there is garbage in, garbage out. 4,000 average encounters, not crossings, in a 7-day period gives the president, and it could be any president, could be his favorite president, could be this president, gives them the authority to close the border if they choose. 5,000 encounters on average in a 7-day period is a mandatory border closure. So he's lying about that. And the math that he did, one wonders, why did he even tax his calculator? Why did he even put it through it? This is how hard they lie for Donald Trump. And you got to wonder, like, Ted Cruz from Texas, why is he against a pure border security bill? Like, what in the world does Donald Trump have on him? It's really pretty scary when you think about what's really going on, where you have hosts of freaking fake news shows threatening James Lankford, threatening to destroy him. And James Lankford on the Senate floor saying, and they've taken steps to do just that over the past month. It's very creepy. All right.
We have, in fact, seen 9.6 million illegal immigrants. So the idiotic Republican proposal was, let's be for 2/3 of the border invasion that Biden has allowed. That made no sense. Not only did it put it into law, 1.8 million every year in perpetuity, but it also put into law giving those illegal immigrants work permits, giving them lawyers paid for by the taxpayers.
Okay, let's take the second part, because the math went on entirely too long, since it was faux math, since it was garbage in, garbage out math. There's no way nobody's crossing. This was encounters. This has nothing to do with letting in or an invasion or anything. Okay, so now he says we're going to pay for lawyers for these 9 million people he's assuming are going to be allowed into the country. So just so you know, lawyers are for children. Lawyers are for minors who are crossing without adults. They need a lawyer to appear before a judge. Remember when we had a judge that was listening to, like 3-year-olds on the stand? Their feet didn't even touch the floor, and the judge was like, oh my God, this kid is in here without any representation. This kid doesn't understand what's going on. They don't understand where they are. They don't understand their life. They don't understand America versus Mexico. They know. So that's what the lawyer provision is for. It's for minors. And then the work visas are for the people who make it through the 2 tiers of adjudication, and they are found to have legitimate asylum claims. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.